you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Leaders. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you finally the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bonsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello. A wonderful evening to you. And let me first say Happy New Year to you all who are joining us for the first time. Those of you who missed last week's session, today is going to be a wonderful one. And I'm wishing you a very beautiful new year ahead. And you are welcome to today's session. My name is Gideon Degbe, and I am coordinating the session. Our speaker today is Uncle Sam. People know him as Samuel Ayim. And he's going to be speaking to us today on living a purpose-driven life in 2026 and beyond. For those of you who do not know Uncle Sam, he's a guru in a boardroom. He's also a guru in leadership. That's just saying that Uncle Sam has over 20 years in the boardroom. Uncle Sam has also been training on leadership topics. And so he's a leadership expert who is come to take us through this wonderful and beautiful topic. Without wasting much time, I'm going to bring Uncle Sam on board as we delve through this wonderful topic and also go into what really purpose-driven life is about and what this year has for us so far as this topic is concerned. Uncle Sam. Okay, so I'm bringing him on. Okay, Uncle Sam, you are welcome to this evening's session. It's a pleasure to have you here. I know usually you do the intro today.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be here. Yeah. And so give us
thank you. You're doing a great job, Gideon.
Yes, thank you, sir. Please give us a brief overview of what is going to happen this evening and a little bit of yourself. It's 2026. We have new viewers, we have new followers. So let's hear a little bit about yourself and expectations from the topic, and then I'll leave you to take it from there.
Great, Gideon. Thank you so very much, and thank you for the introduction. Yes, we are at the beginning of the year, And when we are at the beginning of the year, we all have the energy from 31st, and we have resolutions and commitments and determination to do things that we've never done before. Now, on 1st January, Joy News asked me to share with the nation how to set achievable goals for 2026. And for those of you who have not watched that, I would encourage you to go to our YouTube or Joy News channel, YouTube, and watch that episode, which was aired live on 1st January. And we share some thoughts. And following from that, I've decided that I want to go a bit deeper this evening to help us understand how to set purpose-driven goals so that our lives are not event-driven. It's my birthday, so I'm changing things. It's the first day of the year. It's Christmas. It's Easter. So but to make our lives continuously focus on why we are here. So that's what we're going to try to understand this evening, Gideon. And I can see already so many people who are joining, and I encourage those who are not yet on to join. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This promises to be so interesting. I'm not going to take much time. I'm just going to leave the floor for you, and then we can fly. Thank you.
Thank you so very, very much. And I can see Strawberry. If you give us your name and where you are coming from, that would be great, Strawberry. Making me feel for some ice cream with strawberry flavor. I can also see William Lambo is here. Please let's know where you are connecting from. That's great. Ali Alusin is here. Ali, please let's know where you are joining from. Abedonko is here. Patience from East Legon. Thank you so much, Mama Patience, for always being here and joining us. And let me see who else. William Darfur is here. I can see Techie Church. All right. Let's see let's have your name again. I think it's something with Sophie at the end. Let's see. It's like take a charge with Sophie. All right. Good. So let's see who else is here. Great. I know that Sarah is here with us all the way from Switzerland, and she's always with us. Today, she would like to hide behind the screens. We know she's supporting us. We have Evelyn Martin from Senegal. I'm Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining us from Senegal. Right. Direct access joining from Accra. All right. Okay, we have Sophia Kafi. All right. Hey, Sophie, we cross at the Joy News. Thank you for joining. Good. Let's get started, guys. I'm excited because it is my favorite time of the week, every Saturday at 7, when I have opportunity to gather around with like-minded, growth-minded, leadership-minded individuals to share thoughts about leadership, personal development, and making contribution to our communities and to our life. As I said, today's session is going to be a kind of a continuation of the discussion we had on Joy News on the 1st of January. But I'm going to focus on how to set purpose-driven goals to drive our lives. And so we are looking at how your life can be purposeful and not just be temporarily event-oriented and so forth. So let's see what we have on the menu today. Right. So I'm going to start with a few stories to help us situate the subject. Then we try to understand what we mean by purpose. And here we're going to focus on shifting from what to why life. Many of us are living our lives on what do I do, what do I get, and so forth. We're going to move from there to why am I here? Then we look briefly at where does purpose come from? And how do I discover that purpose? And now that I know it, how do I live my life in line with the purpose? All right. Then, as usual, we'll have a reflection time and a call to action. So, tighten your seatbelts and let's get started. All right. So, the first thing that I want to say is that I want to encourage all of us to begin to think of our lives as a shift from setting goals, getting a promotion, starting a business, earning so much, buying a new car, building a new house, from setting goals to setting our souls. In other words, I want us to shift from goal setting to soul setting. And what do I mean by soul setting? John C. Maxwell says, quote, "The true purpose is not found. It is built by aligning your unique talents with the needs of others." What are your unique talents? What are the burdens on your heart? What are the things that are deep within your soul that you wish to bring to the world? That is what I mean by soul setting. Look at yourself and ask yourself, why am I here? Deep down within you, what do you wish, if you had a magic wand, you would have done in this world? What transformation would you have brought in? What is it in your soul that moves and drives you? That is what we are talking about here. We are in 2026 and we know what is going on around us. Already on the political scene, the United States is moving and catching presidents and so on and so forth. Technology is on the high. AI stocks are still rising, and people are crazy and moving heaven and earth to make money and so on and so forth. Governments are setting agendas and trying to persuade the people that they're going to make their lives better. But you, what are the goals you have set? Are those goals in line with your God-given purpose? That is what 2026 should be. We should begin to move away from just setting goals to setting our souls, because we know, and we said on this platform several times, leadership is not about titles, but it's about impact. So impact derives from the soul, the energy that you bring into the world. And that is what we mean by soul setting. Now, let me share the story of Ryan Rajak with you. In 1998, Ryan was only 6 years old. And in his class, his teacher was talking to them about importance of water and how some parts of the world don't have good drinking water. Sitting in the class, grade 1 class, Ryan was moved because he could walk 10 steps from his class and he could get clean water to drink. So he could not understand why a whole community would not get water, and that if they even had water, they had to walk miles and fetch dirty water to drink, to do things. When he heard this, the 6-year-old was moved. This is what we mean by soul setting. His spirit could not wrestle with these facts that were coming to him. So Ryan, the teacher had told them in the class that it will cost just $70 to give good, clean drinking water to a community of people. Ryan decided to take this up. He came home, talked to his parents, and said, this is a situation in some communities out there in some place in Africa that he knew nothing about. But he said he was going to help to raise $70 to go and sink a borehole to give clean water to some people in Africa. And the teacher had talked to them about some village in Uganda. The parents said, well, where is this coming from? But do you know this place? Why is this important to you? Ryan says, well, it doesn't make sense that people don't have clean water and I want to help. So how are you going to get your $70? Ryan said, well, if you're not able to give it to me, I am prepared to work in this house, to do the chores in this house more than I used to do, and you pay me for the extra work, and I will do it. The parents said, deal. As Ryan started trying to do this and mobilizing, it was taking a bit too long. And then he realized that actually it was going to cost not $70, but $2,000. Now, 6-year-old could have given up, but he says no. He started recruiting his friends, his classmates, told them about what he's trying to achieve, and told them what he was doing at home, and encouraged them to also do the same thing. He went to his school clubs, and then community to community, they started knocking door to door and told people what they wanted to do. Within a short time, they had raised $2,000, and in 1999, 1 year after, they sank the first well in a village in Uganda. Today, 2 years after, Ryan set up the Rhine Water Foundation. And today, that foundation has done projects, water projects and latrine projects, which are benefiting over 1 million people across the world. In countries like Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Guatemala, Ghana, Guyana, Haiti, India, Kenya, Lesotho, Mexico, Nigeria, Tanzania, Togo, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And they're doing more projects in different places. 6-year-old. Today, he is only about 25, 26 years old. But this foundation is a multi-million-dollar Rhine Foundation making significant impact. In fact, I think CNN change makers in recent years named her the wonder child who was able to transform communities because he set his soul. He did not set a goal to just build one foundation or one well or 10 wells, 20 wells. No, he said, I want to make sure people can get water. And that was the purpose. There is another story that I want to share with you as we go along. But before I go, this is a quote from Ryan. He says, quote, my advice to anyone is that in order to make a positive change in the world, you need to find something you are passionate about. And then you need to take steps to act. For me, the issue is water and sanitation. That is the young boy. What are you passionate about? Let me tell you also the story of Kati Stagliani. Kati was 9 years old in 2018. And the school was doing a project, and as part of the project, he planted a seed of cabbage at the backyard of his parents. This cabbage grew so big, it became a 40-pound cabbage that was donated to a local soup kitchen, kind of orphanage that provided food for needy people. And when Kati observed the excitement in the eyes of the young people that received the cabbage, she was moved and decided that she was going to commit herself to plant vegetables in her backyard every year and donate to the soup kitchen. But she did not stop there. She decided to recruit her friends and went to home and mobilize 9-year-old. This is what we mean by soul setting. She was moved, she was passionate to help provide food for the needy. And now, at her age, also around near 30, she is dedicated to fighting hunger. And that is her purpose. The purpose of Ryan is to provide water and sanitation. The purpose of Kati is to fight hunger through Kati's crop. And that is also a foundation, a multi-million-dollar foundation, which is providing food to needy people across the world. Now, these two stories should set the stage for you and I to ask ourselves, what is my purpose? What is driving me? What is the impact that I am making? Now, to set the stage, I want to share with you, and Gideon, if you're ready, I want to share with you a video of Michael Jr. positioning the need to shift from what and focusing on all the activities of what we are doing every day, and to focus on why, and to understand why. Understanding your why is so critical to living your purpose. So Gideon, if you're ready for me, let's zoom in to Michael Jr. and all credit. We picked this from the YouTube, from his channel, to share on why as the critical purpose or source of your purpose. So Gideon, let's go if you're ready.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor. You know, can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Found, was blind, but now I see.
Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose.
Great. Thank you so much, Gideon, for that. Now, I believe we all caught this. And that is what we are talking about. Shifting from what to why. So far, all the goals you've set for yourself have been what goals, achievements, positions, milestones that you have to attain. And that's great. You have to do that. But if you just focus on that, you will not be able to achieve much in life. And very often, because we focus on just what, we finish our days tired and drilled. And when we wake up in the morning, we are wondering, oh, I want to go to that. Oh, there was that deadline that I could not finish with that one. And we are stressed to death. In fact, just recently, I was listening to a production on BBC, or I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking to entrepreneurs, founders of companies in Africa. And the studies were showing that 80% of entrepreneurs, founders, are stressed. And as we talk to them, the reason is that they have goals, they have targets, they have objectives, and they want to achieve, and they have to raise money, and so on and so forth. So many what's, so many positions, so many milestones, driving all of us crazy. And there is no joy even in that. But if you shift that to why is giving you meaning for the things you do. It's giving you purpose. Why is focusing on the contribution that you're making to society. Why is the legacy you are living. And when you are driven by your why, the what becomes very easy and becomes more impactful, as Michael Jr. has just demonstrated to us by this wonderful singing of Amazing Grace, both in the what and in the why context. So John F. Kennedy says, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. So all the efforts you are making, why? What is the purpose? What's the direction? What is the end game? If you don't have your end game in what you're doing, you will just end up tired, stressed, and get high blood pressure and not be happy. Leaders who sustain success are those who anchor their actions in a deeper why. When your why is deep, your impact is significant. When your why is deep within your soul, your words become insignificant. I mean, you don't really feel it. You have a joy in what you do because everything you're doing is directed towards your why, your purpose. And that is what we are trying to. So let me just, for those of us those of you listening who are like me, simple-minded, difficult to learn, when I was in class, I would ask a lot of questions before I understand. For those of you, let me share a few examples of what goals and a few examples of the corresponding why goals so that you can see the difference. So these are what goals. And as you're listening to this, check your goals for 2026. Number 1, earn a promotion to senior manager within the next 12 months. That's not a bad goal. Number 2, save 20,000 for a home down payment. Great, that's not bad. Number 3, complete a master's degree in leadership studies. Great. 4, run a marathon in under 4 hours. That's going to be fantastic. Maybe you set a world record. Number 5, launch a personal blog with 50 published articles. Great. Number 6, grow a business to 1 million annual revenue. I wish I can do that in 2026. Number 7, publish a book by the end of 2026. Number 8, learn conversational Spanish in 6 months. Number 9, volunteer 100 hours in community service this year. And number 10, build a professional network of 500 meaningful connections on LinkedIn. Now look at these goals. Earn a promotion to do what? Why do you want a promotion? 20,000 down payment for a home. Why do you need a home? What's the purpose? What's the end game? And all the others. Launch a personal blog. You have 50 articles, 100 articles, and so what? What's the purpose of that? Publish a book? Great. To do what? What's the purpose of that book? Why do you want to learn Spanish? Why do you want to have 500 meaningful connections on LinkedIn? Why? So now let's look at the corresponding why goals, and you will see the difference between purpose and just action. So these are purpose goals corresponding to the first 10 that we cited. Number 1, inspire others by modeling resilience and growth. So the purpose of getting that promotion is so that you can inspire others. It's not personal. It's nothing to do with because you have worked hard and you've grown so that others can look up to you. Number 2, the why to gaining 20,000 is to create financial stability to support family and community. You don't want money for just money's sake, but you have a higher purpose. Number 3, expand knowledge to empower others through teaching and mentoring. That is a higher purpose. Strengthen discipline and perseverance through physical challenges. So, why do you want to run a marathon under 4 hours? You just want to strengthen discipline and perseverance so that you can challenge others to be able to do that. That is a higher purpose. Number 5, share personal insight to encourage others on their journey. That is the reason why you want to write a book. That is your why. Number 10, build a business that solves real problems and uplifts society. So it's not just a matter of building a business with revenues of $1 million, but the purpose is to solve problems and lift up society. That is the why. And if this is your why, you can go extra mile and do that. Number 7 is to leave a legacy of wisdom and creativity for the future generation. That is why you want to write 50 articles on your blog, 100, because you want to leave a legacy of wisdom and creativity for future generations. That is your why. Number 8, connect with diverse cultures to foster empathy and understanding. That is the reason why you want to learn Spanish, because you want to be able to connect with other society, that is experiences. Number 9, serve others to make a lasting impact on community. That is why you want to dedicate 40 hours for community service this year. And finally, to cultivate authentic relationship that enrich people's life and leadership. So you will see that if you put these two alongside, you will find the difference between the what goals and the why goals. And the why goals are entrenched in purpose, a higher reason why you do what you do. So as we talk about the why goals and what and why goals, they also come along with another set of goals or align with another set of goals, which is end goals and means goals. Okay, so That's the difference. End goals represent the ultimate outcome or experiences you want to achieve. They are the final rewards that speak to your heart, that speak to your soul, that bring the joy in themselves. So it doesn't matter, but the ultimate gives you joy. And this is often based on your non-negotiable values. They are generally broad, they are lifelong pursuits, and they define your life's direction. That is what purpose is about, your life's direction. So examples of being happy, staying healthy, experiencing love, and contributing to society. All these are end goals. The reason is that these goals are focused on answering why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want a promotion? That is to have the freedom to travel, the experiences. So the end goals build around growth that you want to achieve. It builds around the experiences that you want to enjoy in this world, and it builds around the contributions that you want to make. That is what purpose is all about. All right? But the means goals, as we have explained, this deal with the how to achieve the end goals. So means goals are the specific milestones, tasks, or tools used to reach an end goal. So once you have your end goal, now you come down to what are the means? How do I get there? And that is where some of your what and the means goals come in there. And these are the paths. They are the pathways to your end game. They are not the destination. The end goal is the destination. And these means goals are generally flexible and adjustable. What that means is that you can use different means to arrive at the same destination. Generally, your end goals are not changed, but the means to that end can change. So if your means goal doesn't lead you to your end goal, you can modify it, change it, and abandon it and take other things. So like getting a degree, and if you're not getting a degree and they are frustrating you in school, you can change it and go to YouTube and learn other things to get to your same destination. Earning a salary, if that is not working, drop the salary and go and do some business. So at the same end goal, but you can use different means because the means goals answer the question how. And this is where SMART goals sit. The goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And I discussed this on my Joy News interview. You can go back to look at them. But the means goals are audacious, they are big, they are impact-driven, they are directional, and sometimes they can terrify you or frighten you because they are not going to be achieved in a day. And when you live by purpose, it doesn't matter the circumstance, it doesn't matter the economic situation, it doesn't matter what is going on around you. You're still focused on that end goal and you're using different methods to achieve it. All right? So this is what we mean by shift from what to why goals. What goals answer the question, what do I want to achieve, which is your means goal. Okay? Why goals answer the question, why does it matter to me, which is your end goals. All right? So living a purpose-driven life is answering the question, why? And John F. Kennedy says, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. Once again, I want to emphasize that. Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. So if you don't have a deeper purpose for your life, it's not going to help you. Let me share with you the story of Derek Kayongo. Now, Derek Kayongo was a native of Uganda. And the first time he went to the United States, stayed in a hotel, and every day he came back, the soap that he had barely used had been changed. He was curious. He asked the cleaners, what's going on? They told him that, well, that's the policy. They cannot use the soap. Once you open the soap, you use it, they have to change it. What's that? Yes, this guy's crazy or what? I mean, he's like me. He's come from a village where to get a small piece of soap is a big hell. So he asked, and he was allowed, that he will collect this used soap and recycle them and send them to villages where they did not have soap. This started the Atlantic-based Global Soap Project. You can Google it. And today, that project is providing soap to several impoverished communities across the world. So I want you to look at these examples and distill from these examples what are the goals here. This is focused on improving people's life. What about you? Just write your goals and look at them. Now, where does this purpose come as we're coming to the end? I just want to share a few thoughts with you quickly. And I'm going to share this from my Christian perspective. And you may not be a Christian, no worry. I'm not here to impose my Christian belief on you. But whatever you believe in, whether you're Muslim, whatever, you certainly believe that you did not fall from the sky to drop. Somebody or something, or you were created by some superior being. Now, whether you call him God, or as a Buddhist, you call it the universe, or whatever you call that superior supernatural being, all of us know deep within our soul that we did not create ourselves, and somebody else or something created us, and we are therefore here for a purpose. And that is where the question of why am I here comes in. And from a Christian perspective, that question is answered in the Bible. It simply says that God created you for a purpose. And one of my favorite passages is Genesis chapter 1, 27 to 28, which says, God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. He created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on earth. God was very, very specific and intentional that he was creating us to make an impact, to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, to subdue it and rule over it means we should dominate. We have a purpose to make an impact in this world. And that is deeply rooted in your soul. And God has given you so many qualities to be able to do that. Another passage that is very, very interesting in Psalm 139 from verse 13 to verse 16. And David was here reflecting on his life and trying to understand, why am I here? Where did I come from? And he answers the question by saying, God, you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that fully well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depth of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. All your life was intentionally planned. In other passages, the Bible says, God says, I know the plans I have for you. Okay, so from a Christian perspective, your purpose is actually embedded in God. God created each one of us intentionally with a unique purpose. And that purpose begins, therefore, with God as the creator. Purpose is not self-made, it is God-given from a Christian perspective. But our responsibility is to discover that purpose. And that is how God has invested so much in us. Our job is to discover the purpose for which we are made. I want to share these few quotes with you. Rick Warren, who has written a book on a purpose-driven life, says, you were made by God and for God, and until you understand that, life will never make sense. And Miles Monroe says the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose. And John Maxwell says the two most important days in a man's life are the day you were born and the day you discover why you were born. So if you're listening to me and you don't know why you are on this earth, you don't discover your purpose, and you're just going round and you're just doing your work, you're doing the chores and just building a career and so on and so forth, I encourage you to begin to discover. Then you ask me, how do I do that? Just a few pointers and I'll bring this to a close. Number one, you discover your purpose through self-discovery, knowing yourself, examining yourself, knowing your passions. What are you passionate about? What are your values? What is important to you? What are the gifts? What comes so easily to you? What do you do so easily? Maybe you sing so easily. Maybe you communicate so easily. Maybe you build relationships so easily. Maybe you help. You are easily in a situation you just want to serve. What comes to you so easily? Because God has put in each of us our gift and talent. And those gifts are pointers to your purpose. You can also do what is called a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis simply means examine your strengths, your weaknesses, look around you, the opportunities around you, and look around you. What are the threats? What are the challenges? What are the problems that you see around you every day when you wake up? God set you in Ghana, in Senegal, in Africa, in this part of the world to see all these problems, not just to complain about them, but He has given you the talents and gifts to be able to deal with them. Until we discover this, we will not turn around our continent. Once you have done this analysis, now align your gifts with the needs that you see around you. The innocent people walking in the street begging for food. The people in your church who are wearing the same clothes to church. The people who have no food to eat. What can you do to help? That brings you to the next, which is contribution. What do you want to share with the world? Your purpose grows when it is shared. Do what you love doing for free, and eventually you'll probably be paid for it. Pablo Picasso says, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Very, very powerful. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So my question is, do you know your gifts? Do you know your strength? And are you living, using your strength to make a contribution to the world? Dear friends, as I bring this to an end, let me share how, once you found your gift, how do you now use those gifts to make a meaningful, purpose-driven living? You do this by living intentionally. So your life is not just accidental, but you understand that it is not enough to have good intentions, but those intentions must be translated on a daily basis intentionally into actions that are applying your gifts to problems of this world. And that requires you to discover, as we said, your unique purpose, gift, and embracing the mindset of valuing and adding value to people. You should understand that your purpose in life, like the scriptures say, is to multiply. That means adding value to people, valuing people, and adding value to them. It therefore requires you to develop partnerships. The stories I told you about Kati, and the story about Ryan, and the story about my friend from Uganda, all of them had to build partners. They had to bring people into it. You can't do it alone. So bring like-minded people to come and help you. And making it a habit of anticipating and looking for opportunities that would enable you to intentionally do intentional acts of kindness. What that means is that your daily life, you are choosing a life that matters. You are focused on adding value. You are focused on giving back to society. And that is a life of significance. You see, success is what you get for yourself. And so many of us are successful. We've got certificates, you got a car, you got a house, you got whatever. So you get it, but all those things were given to you. And that is success. It's not bad, but you want to live a life of significance. A life of significance is what you give. Success is what you receive. Significance is what you give. So what are you giving to the world on a daily basis? I want to encourage you, 2026, if you've not been living in purpose, begin to change your mindset to living intentionally. And I want you to think about it in 4 mental steps. Step number 1, say to yourself, I want to make a difference. So ask yourself, what is the difference that you want to make? I want to make a difference. Number 2, doing something that makes a difference. So it's a graduation. I want to make a difference. Doing something that makes a difference with people who make a difference at a time that make a difference. So what is the difference that you're making? What are you doing to make a difference? With who are you making that difference? And what time is it? The time is now. We're in 2026, and I want to encourage all of us. Please, remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So what are you caring about? What difference are you making in this world? Take note of these daily practices that will help you. Sit down every day and journal. Write the thoughts that are going through your mind, the challenges you are seeing around you. Put them down wherever. Daily meditate, sit back, reflect on your life. What have you done so far? Where have you come from? Where are you going? What contribution am I making? Reflect on your life. Also, daily, establish a gratitude journal, attitude. What have I received? What blessings have come to my way? Now, if you daily do these things, you would then come to a point where you are going to determine that you need to make an impact. You have to have an influence. And this is coming from then looking for coaching or mentoring, people who can help you, and you yourself adopting a servant leadership approach. In other words, trying to look for opportunities to serve. As far as your community is concerned, look for opportunities where you can volunteer, or advocacy, where people rights are being trampled upon. What can you do to help them? Sustainability. What are the things around you that you want to work at? These are some of the steps that can help you to live a purpose-driven life. I would like what Howard Tuman said Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. What is your soul telling you tonight? Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So we want to encourage you, dear friend, to come alive. Let courage and clarity define your future. Because once you're living in your life and on your purpose, you're going to face uncertainties. But with determination, with conviction, you'll be able to go through. Clarity means knowing your values and sticking to them. Because he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. And that is Friedrich Nietzsche. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. So, dear friends, I think our time is gone, so I'll leave these two cases of Craig, who at age 12, set up the Free the Children Foundation to help rescue children under child labor. Today, the Free the Children Foundation is over $30 million charity. And he was only 12 years. Okay? And my good friend, Evans Kayongo from Kenya, who, like me, grew up in a village using a lantern. And by the time you woke up in the morning, your nose is black. He decided that, no, you want to turn this around. Work hard to develop the lent lamp to replace the kerosene lamps in villages around Kenya. What is your purpose? Write down one sentence that defines your purpose for 2026 and beyond. And move beyond building career into building a life. Don't just build a career, build a life. And that is our charge, that is our call. We have looked at shifting from what to why goals. We've looked at end goals and means goals. We've looked at how why helps you to define your purpose. And we look at where that purpose comes from and how to live it in your life. I believe we've shared something with you, and I hope you've learned something. Share with me in the chat what are your takeaways. Share with me your purpose goals. Share your questions, and we'll be very happy to take them as we take a short break and come back to take your questions, your answers, share your experiences with us as we take this short break. Thank you very much, Gideon.
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025.
Well, we have, in fact, what the word I'm trying to use is not coming back. I just want to say that we are satisfied. We have been fed. Yes, we have been fed, and we are satisfied with the food that has been given to us. My dear friends, Uncle Sam has given us a lot of lessons, and he has given us, or he's given us an understanding that uh, clarity precedes mastery, and we have to understand that we cannot hit our target in 2026 if we do not clearly define our why. That is, if we clearly do not define our purpose. Uncle Sam, this is excellent, and we in fact, we are more than satisfied with what we have been fed this evening. To my friends who are watching us live, I'm just going to go through the comments and read them out loud. If there are questions, Uncle Sam is going to take them one after the other. I have my questions here, but after your questions, I'll ask mine. But for now, it's your time. Tell us what you are taking away from what Uncle Sam has shared with us, and also share your questions with us so that Uncle Sam can take us through by answering all your questions. Starting from Natalia, she says, "Do you know your gift? How do you use it to help others?" Okay, I think this is her takeaway from Uncle Sam's sessions. Abed says, "That's great insight." We have Queen Shishi saying, "When you know your why, your what becomes easy." That is true. Fifi says, "Great insight. Thanks, sir." Queen Shishi again, "Is talent the same as purpose?" Uncle Sam, this is a question. I'll go on. Maybe we'll gather 3 more questions, and then you can take it from there. The first question is talent same as purpose? Is talent same as purpose? Okay, so that's from Queen Shishi. We have Isaac Aiku saying, "Awesome presentation." Natalia again, "To spread the word of God and words of wisdom to the ends of the earth, using every resource God has placed in my hands." Okay, so that is what she's doing this year, and that is a target. Okay, so Natalia, you have to clearly define your why for doing that. Thank you. And from William Dafoe, very insightful. Thanks very much, Uncle Sam. So, Uncle Sam, there are no questions. There's just one question from the audience, but there's so many nuggets or takeaways that we are having from our audience. Hitting on the question again, Queen Sisi is asking, "Is talent the same as purpose?" So that's the only question we have from our audience. Is talent the same as purpose? Uncle Sam.
All right. So, sorry. No, talent is not the same as purpose. Your talent is the tool that God has given to you to fulfill your purpose. Okay. And so, for example, I see my purpose is to empower others, to help them discover their own purposes. I say is to help awaken the giant in them. So my whole purpose in life is to help people lift them up. Now, how do I do it? God has given me a number of talents. I'm able to speak. I know I teach. And when I remember when I was in school, when people would go for extra classes that I didn't have money to go, when they come back, I'll take their notes, I will learn it quickly, and I will come back and teach them what they didn't understand in the classes they went and paid for. So I know how to teach. I communicate quite effectively. So those are my talents. And those are the tools that I use to help lift people by teaching, coaching, mentoring. Those activities that I do, I use my talent to do them with a purpose of lifting people up. And that is what it is. Okay. Maybe your talent, your purpose is to bring joy into the life of people, to lift the souls of human beings in whatever conditions they are. And how do you do this? Maybe you do this through music. So what do you have? God has given you the talent of the voice, of singing. And so you can sing when people are doing their birthdays. You can sing when people are sick, and you can do different type of music. That is your talent, but the purpose is to lift people up, their spirits up, and so on and so forth. So different talent, you can use the same talent for different purposes. Okay? So I hope that helps. So your talent is not the same as your purpose, but your talent gives you an indication of what your purpose is, which is what contributions you can make into the world, what impact you can do, what difference you can make in the world because of what you can do with the gift that God has given to you. All right.
Excellent, Uncle
Other
Sam.
comment,
Excellent,
question?
excellent. Thank you. Yes, there's another question from Isaac Aiku. Isaac is
Yeah.
asking, can purpose be manipulated by external factors? Can purpose be manipulated by external factors?
My first from Tanzania, if you can explain a bit more what you mean by purpose being manipulated by external factors. I'm trying to guess before your explanation comes. If it means that the external environment can affect what you do or your contribution, if that is what you mean. We talk about your SWOT, doing your SWOT analysis. Your SWOT analysis, the first letter S is your strengths, which are the gifts you have. Then the W is your weaknesses. Those are internal to you. So that's where those gifts point to your purpose. But how will you realize those purposes? You realize those purposes on your environment. And that's where the two other alphabets come in, opportunities and threats. So your environment will define the opportunities available to you, or they will define the threats to your talent. Okay? So you have to examine your environment. And that's why I said God brought you into Ghana for a purpose. God brought you to Africa for a purpose, because the African environment has so many problems and God has given us a talent to be able to do it. So if I understand the word manipulated by external factors, if that is what you mean by your environment, yes, your talents interact with your environment and determine what you can do and how you can do it, and so on and so forth. So if it doesn't address your concern, you can come back again. And Natalia says she actually does discipleship coaching, which is great. All right.
Okay.
Good.
Excellent. Uncle Sam, I think this is already answered. Lily Oklu, I believe, is asking, please, what is a gift? I believe that is answered, but if you can touch a little bit on it.
So your gifts are the God-given abilities, your talents, the things that come to you very easily. So you can sing very easily. You can play soccer very easily. In fact, you are not taught in the village. You can use, when we're in the village, you use oranges. Some of the boys use orange to play football, and they can dribble everybody around. They're just talented on their feet. There are some people who are skillful in crafts. So you know how to do things with your fingers, like sewing. putting wood together, arts. Now, those are your gifts. And those gifts point to what you can do to the world. The last time on this platform, when we did extraordinary leadership stories, we brought you a lady from Nigeria who is using discarded material to do amazing crafts and exporting them to the whole world. It was amazing. Things that people have thrown away. She would just take them and is able to look at them and transform them. But many of us will look at those things and just throw them away in the boiler. But she will go and pick those things, and he's sending people actually into the boiler to collect things that people have thrown away. And she's packed them somewhere in her house, and she's transforming those into beautiful creatives. So some people are very creative. Some people are very intellectual. Some people are very mathematical. They can calculate things to the last. Some people also can speak. And so many and so forth. Some people helping others come to them very easily. And so when they become a nurse, you won't hear any complaints about them. But if you want to become a nurse because you want to go abroad and make some dollars, and that is all, and you don't have the empathy, it doesn't come to you easily. That is why when you come to the hospital as a nurse and you start shouting on the patients, because that is not something that comes to you easily. You're not using your God-given talent or gift to advance what you are doing, which is your purpose. So I hope that helps.
And then
Right.
a question that just came in from Kinshishi again. What is the
Yes.
difference between talent and gifts? She's
Well, for
asking
my
what the
purpose,
difference between talent and gift. Yes.
for my purpose, talent and gifts are the same. So I'm using them interchangeably. Okay. So that is what I'm using them for. Now, those of you who are Christians and so on, you have things like spiritual gifts and so on and so forth. So you can distinguish between the talent being your natural endowment, and then you can have spiritual gifts, which are supernatural endowments that you have. So if you are a Christian and you are looking at it in that sense, that's probably different. But for the purpose that we are looking at in terms of what you are here to do in this world, God has endowed you. You call it talent, you call it gifts, you call it opportunities. Opportunities are things around you, but your talents and gifts are within you. Okay? And opportunities are things around you that enable you. You were born into a good family. You were born not into a good family, like some of us who were born into a poor rural environment. For me, it's a gift because that has given me a different perspective of life and how to help others. But if you don't discern that properly, you may continue to weep and weep. Why did God give you a poor father and a poor mother? Why were you born into a village and you were not born into a what did they call them? The Dadaba family and so on and so forth. No. I went to school with some Dadabas. Those Dadabas will come to school with all the books in the world, but they will not study the books. I didn't have any money to buy any book, but I'll go and collect their books and I will study it and go and teach them. Okay? So my poor background, where I had nothing, taught me how to do with little and work with the extreme minimum of resources. And for me, that was a gift also coming from the opportunities around. So I hope this helps, Shishi. All right.
Yeah.
Good,
Okay.
good,
Uncle
good.
Sam, thank you very much for all the answers. I just have a last one to ask. And
Yes.
what is the first practical step a person should take, especially if they know they are what very well, but feels a bit lost on their why. So if a person knows their what very well and feel a very bit lost on their why, what should be the very first practical step they should take?
Well, if you say you know your what, you see, the first thing first. So if you know your what, you're putting the what, the horse, the cart before the horse. Is that the expression? So focusing on your what first is putting the cart before the horse. The horse has to always be before the cart because the horse is drawing the cart. So there may be so many things that you're doing right now, and you're not sure to what end. So ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? So that's the first thing. If you know what you're doing, the what, and you're trying to look for the why, ask yourself, why am I doing this? So, for example, you know that you're fighting and working for a promotion. So that's your what. And then that's what you're doing. You're working hard. But you don't know why you're doing it. So ask yourself, why am I fighting for this promotion? You know that what you're doing is working towards saving, like we gave the example, saving $20,000 to buy a house. Why do you want to buy that house? I can tell you, I have a house. My children come back and they don't want to live in that house. They tell me that it's in the village. Okay, so I mean, why was I building that house? I was just building to escape paying high rent in Ghana. Now I built it in that part of Accra, and there's no proper roads there. And they are saying that no, that's no, we don't want to stay here. All right. If I was building that house for them, well, that purpose is not achieved. So if you know what you're doing, ask yourself the next question: why am I doing this? And with that question, if you begin to ask why, and I want to encourage you all to buy Simon Sinek book, Start with Why. That's the title of the book, Simon Sinek. Start with why. If you start with your why, your what becomes meaningful. But if you're just focusing on the what, as I said, sometimes you get just confused and frustrated, and you say, I've done this and done that and done that, and still people are not giving me rent and this, and you start complaining. It's because you're just focused on the what, and you haven't found the why. And for some of us, once we find our why, we have to stop what we are doing. Some of us may even have to quit our jobs. Yes, that is what gives you food, but you may have to quit your job because that job is not in your why lane. And as long as you are not in your why lane, it's like you're taking a road which is taking you to a different direction. Like the joke that my friend said, there's somebody who is going to Ho and doesn't know which car to take, and he saw a car with Hope in front, and he says, oh, this car is going to Hope. So he bought into that car, and the car was going to a different direction. Okay, so many of us are like that. We are in a Hope car. We think we are going to Hope, but we are going to different destinations. So first determine your destination, then you know that the way to go to that destination, which is your what or your means goals. I hope that helps.
It helps. Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for this one. There's the last one that we will take, and then we'll have your final words, and then we can call it an evening. From Alex Nyamiche Oche. He says, thank you for the wonderful presentation. Please, my question is, how can I stay committed to my goals when faced with challenges and setbacks?
All right.
That's from Alex. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe in my last slide, I mentioned something, last but one slide, I mentioned something which is similar to addressing that question. Let me see. Let me see. I think, let me find that slide. Um, Maybe not this one, where we had a quote that says that if you have your why, okay, I think it was before earlier, but to be able to withstand storms and challenges that come your way, you have to be in your purpose lane. Now, let me tell you about my situation. Most of you know I've told my story a lot of times. I used to work in a bank. I was general counsel of a bank that has presence in 40 countries, and I was running, uh, you know, 30 groups of lawyers across Africa, group general counsel, company secretary, perks, everything was nice. But I was not comfortable. I still felt there's something else I could do. I had to quit my job 8 years ago and to say, I want to live my purpose, because I just came to understand. I went into a John Maxwell conference and I realized that, look, I spent 25 years of my life doing things that were not exactly in my purpose. Yes, I got the money, I got whatever perks, but I was not satisfied. I was not really happy with my own life, and I believe I could do more to life. I left, and I was with all great ideas, hoping that I was going to set up a leadership center and I'm going to impact the world. And I had my million man contact and have impact to train about 1 million Africans on leadership and so on and so forth. Okay. So I set up the center, and the first thing, very soon we had COVID. Then the little investments I had was in men's gold, took away a huge part of it. And then other serious challenges of, people are working with and so on and so forth. There were so many other things coming my way. But I wake up every morning determined, happy. I have been doing this leadership platform for more than 5 years. I have not been paid 1 CD. But every week we are here with a team. We are all here and we are excited every week. Why are we able to withstand all these things? Because deep down we know we are in our purpose zone. We know that the destination is ahead. There's going to be obstacles. The problem comes when you are not sure you are on your purpose lane. When you are not sure the destination is where you are going, then when obstacles come, you will be blown away easily. But staying with your values, staying with your convictions, staying in your purpose is the surest way to be able to withstand storms and challenges and setbacks that will come your way. You would certainly have setbacks. Certainly you would never, even if God came and gave you your purpose directly, like they gave to Paul, he still had setbacks. But because he knew that God had given him a mission, even though he was beaten and buffeted and sometimes killed, he could confidently say that, with God, I can do all things with God who strengthens me. And if I have to close with any statement, I will take your question and say, once you discover your purpose, you can do all things as long as you are living your why and your purpose. You can do all things. Because without discovering your purpose, your life will not be fulfilled. But when you discover your purpose, you will have a fulfilling life, because your life will be driven by purpose and you make significant impact. And that, Gideon, will be my closing remark. Discover your purpose, live within your purpose, and knowing your why. With knowing your why, you can do all things. That is within your purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Sam. Like I said earlier, we have been fed well, and I believe that we are going to begin 2026 and end with on a good note. So we are beginning and ending 2026 on a very good note. Thank you so much, Uncle Sam. These lessons are very insightful and very practical. And everyone, thank you for making the time to be on the call with us. To all our audience who have been with us for the past 5 years, we are grateful to you, and we hope that our next sessions you are going to invite more people to join us to also learn what you have learned here. It doesn't end here. You can share the link with people who are not here, with your friends, with your family who are not here, to also learn from what Uncle Sam has shared. 2026 it's a good year for all of us, and we must all try to pull our friends, family, and colleagues along. Thank you all for the time, and I'm leaving you here with Michael Jr.'s message on knowing your why. Have a wonderful evening.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor. Can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I see.
Okay. here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose.
And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now.